Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty wild.
Oh, yeah.
It's a declassified CIA document
Whoa.
from 1983
Okay.
called Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process.
Interesting.
Now, this isn't like, your typical spy stuff.
Right.
This document
Yeah.
gets into some really out there ideas like
Mhm.
altered states of consciousness, brainwave manipulation, and
Oh, wow.
the potential for out-of-body experiences.
Okay.
So we're going to try to unpack the main points here and hopefully leave you with something to think about.
What's really fascinating to me is that this document blends these scientific concepts with esoteric practices,
Yeah.
and it's all to evaluate this thing called the Gateway Experience, which
Right.
is a training system that was developed by the Monroe Institute.
Interesting.
And it seems like the CIA was really interested in potential applications of it.
So the CIA was like, hey, is this something we can use?
Exactly.
Like, is this a legitimate
Yeah.
tool for us?
Like for intelligence gathering or something like that.
Right.
Wow.
It's really interesting.
The document even mentions things like biofeedback hypnosis and transcendental meditation
Yeah.
to synchronize the brain hemispheres.
Right.
Now, didn't we see some of the stuff in that research you were telling me about?
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some parallels there.
About meditation and focus.
It seems like they were exploring ways to, like, tap into different levels of awareness.
So, using sound to kind of hack the brain.
Yeah.
What are they trying to achieve with these altered states?
Well, the document describes the human body as an energy system.
Okay.
And it suggests that the gateway process can manipulate this energy field to resonate with the environment.
So they can change the energy field.
Yeah, they even mention these advanced techniques like color breathing.
Color breathing.
What is that?
You visualize specific colors and breathe them into different parts of your energy field.
I've never even heard of that.
It's a pretty wild concept.
So what's the thinking behind that?
It gets pretty interesting. The document suggests that different colors vibrate at different frequencies and can actually influence your energy field.
So they're saying color can change your energy.
In a way, yeah. It's almost like they're saying we can tune our energy like we tune a radio,
Okay,
like selecting specific frequencies to achieve different effects.
interesting. So it's like color is a tool for influencing our internal state.
Right.
Now, does that at all connect to the concept of chakras and energy centers?
Oh, there are definitely some interesting connections there.
Because we've talked about those before.
The document seems to kind of blend Eastern spiritual traditions with Western scientific concepts
Okay.
in a way that really pushes the boundaries of conventional thinking.
Well, and speaking of pushing boundaries, this document doesn't shy away from some pretty far out there concepts.
Oh, yeah,
It even suggests the possibility of venturing beyond time and space.
it's true.
So how does it approach that idea?
Well, the document uses the concept of the absolute,
Okay.
and they describe it as a state of pure consciousness beyond time and space.
Okay. And they even suggest it's possible to click out of our normal time-space reality through these advanced gateway techniques.
Click out of reality.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going down the rabbit hole.
Right.
How do they explain this clicking out?
This is where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
They introduce this idea of the universe as a giant hologram,
Okay.
where every part contains information about the whole.
Interesting.
And the document suggests that our brains actually interact with this universal hologram
Wow.
to create our reality.
Our brains are constantly interpreting information from this holographic universe.
Yeah.
But how do we access the information that's normally hidden from our perception?
Well, that's where these gateway techniques come in.
Okay, so these techniques are the key
Exactly.
to unlock this hidden information.
It's like they're giving us a way to kind of peek behind the curtain of reality.
A holographic universe. So everything we experience is just a projection.
In a way, yeah, it's a pretty radical concept.
Yeah.
It is a radical concept. What does that even mean for how we understand ourselves and our place in the universe?
Well, it definitely challenges our conventional understanding of reality.
It does.
The document kind of draws parallels between the gateway experience and ancient mystical traditions,
Okay.
suggesting that this idea of accessing information beyond our normal senses isn't actually entirely new.
Right.
Think about the concept of intuition or precognition.
Okay.
Maybe those experiences are just glimpses into this interconnected holographic reality.
So the CIA was basically trying to figure out if we could become like psychic spies.
Well, maybe not exactly spies, but the document does outline potential applications of the gateway experience that are pretty amazing.
Okay, give me an example.
They talk about enhanced creativity, problem solving,
Okay.
even remote viewing.
Remote viewing.
Yeah, the ability to perceive distant locations or events.
Wow. It's like they were trying to tap into some kind of hidden human potential.
Exactly, like something that we're only just beginning to understand.
But all of this raises some serious questions about the ethics of it all.
Oh, you're absolutely right. There are definitely a lot of questions to consider about the responsible use of this kind of technology.
Because if these techniques work the way they're described,
Right.
it could have a huge impact on society.
Huge impact.
So where do we even go from here?
Well, let's dive deeper into the specifics of how these techniques are supposed to work.
Okay.
We've talked about Hemi-Sync audio technology, but what exactly does that entail?
Yeah.
And how could it potentially alter our consciousness?
Okay, let's explore that next. We're just getting started with this deep dive, and
Yeah.
I have a feeling things are going to get even more interesting.
I think so too.
Buckle up, everybody.
So Hemi-Sync, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
It uses specific sound frequencies
Okay.
to synchronize the brain hemispheres.
How does that work?
So they play slightly different frequencies in each ear,
Okay.
and this creates like a third beat frequency
Uh-huh.
that your brain perceives. And this can guide your brainwave activity.
Oh, so it's like leading your brain waves.
Yeah, essentially leading it into different states of consciousness.
Wow. So they're manipulating brain waves with sound.
Right.
What kind of effects are we talking about?
The document claims like a wide range of effects.
Like what?
Deep relaxation, heightened awareness,
Okay.
even out-of-body experiences.
Out-of-body experiences.
Yeah,
Now we're really getting into it.
I know, it's pretty wild.
But does the document, like, back up these claims?
Well, it goes into like complex scientific theories
Okay.
and blends them with these esoteric concepts.
So not a lot of hard evidence.
Not really, no. It's more theoretical.
Okay, well, what kind of theories are they talking about?
Well, for example, they bring up that holographic universe idea again.
Right.
Suggesting that our brains are kind of like receivers.
Okay.
Decoding information from this larger hologram
Okay.
to create our reality.
Right. So our brains are constantly taking in information
Yeah.
from this holographic universe.
It's like we're always plugged in.
But how do we access that information that's normally hidden?
That's where these gateway techniques come into play.
Okay, so the techniques are like the key
Exactly.
to unlocking that hidden information.
It's like they're giving us a way to kind of like hack the system.
I like to hack the system.
Yeah.
So what do these techniques actually involve?
Well, the document outlines a structured process.
Okay.
It starts with basic techniques and progresses to more advanced levels.
Oh, so it's like levels,
Yeah,
like a video game.
kind of, yeah. One of the first goals is achieving Focus 10,
Focus 10.
which is a state of deep relaxation and hemispheric synchronization.
What's so special about Focus 10?
It's like a gateway to deeper levels of awareness.
Okay.
The document describes it as a state where your body's energy patterns become more coherent.
So your energy is like flowing more smoothly.
Right. And it allows greater access to the subconscious mind.
Interesting.
And it makes you more receptive to suggestion.
So it's like prepping the mind.
Yeah, like creating a blank canvas to work with.
I like that. Okay, so you achieve Focus 10,
Right.
and then what?
Well, then the document outlines various techniques for manipulating this heightened state.
Oh, so you can do things with it.
Yeah. One that really caught my eye was patterning.
Patterning? What's that?
It involves using focused intention and visualization
Okay.
to manifest desired outcomes.
Wait, are they saying you can just like will things into existence?
It's not quite that simple.
Okay.
The document emphasizes that patterning requires intense focus, a clear intention, and a deep understanding of how energy works.
So it's not just wishful thinking.
No, it's more like a skill.
Right, a mental discipline.
Exactly.
And we're back to energy again.
It's a recurring theme.
It seems like this concept of energy runs through the entire gateway process.
It really does. The document describes the human body as an energy system that interacts with the surrounding energy field of the universe.
Wow.
And they suggest that by manipulating our own energy, we can actually influence the energy around us and potentially even access other dimensions of reality.
Other dimensions. That's
Yeah.
a big claim.
Yeah.
How do they explain that?
This is where they get into like theoretical physics,
Oh boy.
suggesting that the universe isn't just made up of matter and energy as we typically understand them.
Oh.
They propose the existence of higher dimensional energy realms.
Higher dimensional energy realms.
Yeah, that are beyond our normal perception.
Okay, so beyond what we can see or touch or measure,
Exactly.
this is heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So how does all of this tie back to like personal growth?
That's a good question.
Because earlier we were talking about remote viewing and intelligence gathering.
Right.
But what about using these techniques for like self-improvement?
That's a really insightful point. The document mainly focuses on those more extraordinary applications,
Right.
but I think the underlying principles could definitely be applied to personal development.
Okay, I see what you mean.
For example, achieving deeper states of relaxation and accessing the subconscious mind
Right.
through techniques like Hemi-Sync
Right.
could be incredibly valuable for self-discovery and healing.
So even if we're not trying to like click out of reality or become psychic spies,
Right.
we can still benefit from these techniques.
Absolutely. It's about finding ways to use these tools to improve our lives.
I like that.
Uh,
So what else do they suggest we could achieve through this process?
well, they mention things like enhancing creativity, improving problem-solving abilities, even accelerating learning.
Really?
Yeah. Think about the potential if we could actually access and utilize more of our brain's capacity.
That would be amazing.
It would be revolutionary.
But how do we get there? Is there like a roadmap?
The document outlines a progression of techniques,
Right.
starting with those foundational practices like achieving Focus 10.
Okay.
And then they introduce more advanced methods like Focus 15,
Focus 15.
which supposedly uses sound frequencies and guided visualizations
Uh-huh.
to induce an out-of-body state.
Okay, hold on. Focus 15 is for out-of-body experiences.
That's what the document suggests.
Wow. These get intense.
It is.
What exactly happens during an out-of-body experience?
Well, they describe it as a state where your consciousness separates from your physical body,
Okay.
and it's free to explore different realms of reality.
So you're like floating around.
In a way,
Yeah.
without your body.
It's portrayed as like a very liberating and expansive experience,
Wow.
allowing for deeper understanding of yourself and the universe.
Okay, but how do you actually achieve that?
Well, the document does go into some detail about the techniques involved.
Like what?
They talk about using specific sound frequencies, visualization exercises, even techniques for manipulating your energy field.
Okay.
But they also emphasize the importance of having a guide or mentor.
A guide.
Yeah, to help navigate these experiences safely.
So it's not something to just try on your own.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
They stress the importance of approaching these practices with caution and respect.
Because you're messing with your consciousness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when dealing with altered states.
This is all incredibly fascinating.
It is. But I have to ask, how much of this is actually backed up by science?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And one that the document doesn't really answer fully.
So are we just supposed to take their word for it?
Well, they blend scientific concepts with these more esoteric ideas.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what's fact and what's speculation.
So a healthy dose of skepticism is probably a good idea.
I would say so.
But even if we don't buy into all the claims,
Right.
there's still a lot of interesting information here.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating exploration of human potential and the possibilities that might exist beyond our normal perception.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it's opening our minds to a whole new world.
It really is.
You know, it's amazing to think that a document like this from 1983 is still so relevant today.
I know, it's crazy, right?
We're talking about ideas that are just as mind-blowing now as they were back then.
Totally. But you know what's really interesting to me is how this document, while exploring these like really out there concepts, also hints at practical applications for personal growth.
Right? Like it's not just a bunch of crazy theories.
Exactly.
There's actually some stuff in there that we can use to improve our lives.
Remember how the document talks about achieving Focus 10?
Oh yeah, Focus 10, that state of deep relaxation and hemispheric synchronization.
Right, like a gateway to deeper levels of awareness.
They suggested it could enhance creativity, problem solving, even accelerate learning.
Exactly. Now think about how those benefits could apply to your own life.
Okay.
Imagine being able to tap into a state of heightened focus and clarity, like whenever you needed it.
That would be pretty amazing.
How would that impact your work, your relationships, your overall well-being?
It could be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've definitely had those moments where everything just seems to click
Right.
and I'm super productive and creative.
It's like accessing this hidden reservoir of creativity and insight.
Exactly. And if these techniques can help us do that more consistently, that would be incredible.
It's all about harnessing the power of the mind.
So it's not just about listening to some Hemi-Sync tracks and expecting miracles to happen.
No, definitely not.
There's real effort involved.
The document emphasizes that achieving these states requires practice discipline and a willingness to challenge our limiting beliefs.
It's about actively engaging with these techniques and making them a part of our lives.
It's like anything else you want to get good at.
You have to put in the work.
Exactly.
It reminds me of that concept of neuroplasticity.
Oh, yeah.
The idea that our brains can actually change and rewire themselves.
Based on our experiences.
Right. So if we consistently engage in practices that promote relaxation, focus, and expanded awareness.
We can literally change the structure and function of our brains.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. But let's be realistic here. Not everyone has the time or resources to go all in on a gateway training program.
True.
Are there any simple practical things that people can take away from this document?
Oh, absolutely. Even without the fancy equipment or guided programs, there are core principles that anyone can benefit from.
Okay, like what?
Remember the emphasis on intention, visualization, and working with energy?
Yeah, those concepts seem to be everywhere in the document.
Exactly. And those are skills that you can cultivate through practices like meditation mindfulness and creative visualization.
So it's about taking the essence of the gateway experience
Right.
and adapting it to our own individual needs and situations.
We can explore these concepts without necessarily needing to click out of reality or have out-of-body experiences.
Right. It's about finding what works for you
Exactly.
and incorporating these principles into your daily life.
Maybe it's starting a regular meditation practice, doing some mindful breathing exercises, or even just taking a few moments each day to visualize your goals and intentions.
It's about becoming more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and energy.
And learning how to use those inner resources to create positive change in our lives.
And who knows, maybe as you start exploring these practices and deepen your self-awareness, you might start to experience glimpses of those extraordinary states that the document describes.
It's possible.
That's pretty exciting.
This deep dive has been an incredible exploration of the potential of human consciousness.
It really has.
But it's important to remember that this is just the beginning,
Right. There's so much more to discover.
both within ourselves and in the vast universe around us.
So where do we go from here? What's the next step?
I encourage you to keep researching, experimenting, and asking questions.
Don't be afraid to explore different perspectives.
Try out different practices.
And most importantly, listen to your own intuition,
It's about embarking on your own personal journey of self-discovery.
guided by curiosity, discernment, and a willingness to challenge your assumptions about what's possible.
And remember, the journey itself is just as important as the destination.
That's a great point. Enjoy the process of exploration and embrace the transformative power of your own consciousness.
Well said.
This deep dive has been a powerful reminder that we're all capable of expanding our awareness and tapping into deeper levels of understanding.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what you believe is possible.
Until next time, keep diving deep.